Hello, welcome to Allen Baptist Church Daily Bible Study. We're looking at characters of the Bible in an alphabetical order, and we're at the letter S. And today, the Old Testament character of Saul, the first king of Israel. When we talked about Samuel, the prophet and priest and judge, we noted that at the end of Saul's time that Israel asked for a king, and he advised against it, but they demanded it, and so God approved it, and the one that God chose, that Samuel anointed as the first king of Israel, was Saul. You can find his story, the full amount of his story, lots of things that happened in 1st and 2nd Samuel, also in 1st Chronicles, and you can read all about it. But basically, what I want to focus in on today is the necessity of political leaders, the necessity of leaders of countries to listen to God and to obey God, that the people suffer when you do not. And Saul is a prime example of that. What happened with Saul is he started out well. He was a great leader. He listened to God. He listened to God's prophet Samuel, and he was able to throw off the enemies, raise great armies, do wonderful things. And his son Jonathan also very great leader. And but leadership can go to your head, and you can start thinking that it's me, that I'm the one that's accomplishing this rather than God. And that sort of happened to Saul when he took it upon himself, first of all, to do acts of worship before God when he was not a priest and he was not ordained of God to do it. He started looking at himself as as the one who determines what's supposed to happen spiritually, and of course God determines that, and you follow what he says, you listen to God. Saul reminded him that that his sin was presuming too much and thinking he had all the ideas and concepts even about how to worship God. But his next one was disobedience. He stopped listening to God, stopped listening to Samuel, the prophet of God, and it cost him in his next battle. And instead of repenting from what he had done, an evil spirit came upon him. He started openly rebelling against God, and even God had decided he would anoint David because Saul had gone too far, and Saul ended up trying to kill David, and we talked about that when we talked about David. But just for us today, the danger of leaders of a country, and by the way, there is no leader in the world of a country that God has not allowed it to happen or ordained it to happen for his own purposes. But when leaders of a country stop listening to God and start listening to people, and worse yet, start thinking that something in them makes them the all in all. I'm not speaking about any particular president. I don't try to get political in these. But the thought that just because a person gets the majority of votes in America, for that one person to serve the role as president, that all of a sudden that makes them an expert on everything, and that they can just speak, and that's the way it is. That kind of haughtiness is dangerous, and not listening to God is dangerous, and doing things your own way is dangerous, and nations suffer because of it. And Saul is a prime example of that. That's why we're commanded in the New Testament to pray for our leaders, because they need to start listening to God and his wisdom and his word. God bless you.